Hey guys, what's up? I was lying in bed and all of a sudden it occurs to me maybe how to do a video on a subject that I wanted to talk about for a long time. Just wasn't sure maybe how to express it. And that would be music programming for wedding receptions. Now, what is programming anyway? We've talked about it a little bit. I've suggested that it may be a black art. Kinda is. But I'm going to try to shed some light on it for you today, give you the concept, and hopefully you can run with it. We're not talking about beat mixing here, we're talking about simple programming, which is basically just taking songs, any songs at all, and putting them in some kind of order. I listened to Howard Stern on XM, and a while back they had a monkey and the program director of the Howard Stern show. Now the program director makes hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. It's a huge station, and he doesn't even pick that many songs because they don't play a lot of music on the Howard Stern radio show. But he makes big bucks. The challenge was, could a monkey pick a better set than the program director? So, the program director digs into this pile of CDs and picks 3 tracks, puts them in an order that he thinks are brilliant. And then the monkey picks 3 random tracks. They play you both sets. They don't tell you which one the program director picked and which one the monkey picked, but they wanted to know which one everybody liked best, and lo and behold, everybody liked the set the monkey picked better. I'm hoping as mobile DJs we're doing a better job than the program director on Howard Stern. Please keep in mind that not everybody programs the same. Some people start off with low BPM songs early in the evening and progress into higher BPM songs towards the end. That's almost club style. I don't do it that way at wedding receptions. What I like to do is lots of hills and valleys throughout the evening, and I even do it at clubs. But everybody has a different style. This is just kind of more my style. And what we're doing today are only examples. This is a fake wedding we're going to be talking about with fake people, just kind of to give you an idea of what this programming thing's all about. So for what it's worth, check it out. Before we start programming anything, we need to figure out who we're programming for. So I'm going to put together a fictitious wedding reception for you, starting with the bride and groom, who are both in their mid-20s. They're good kids. They're probably 3rd or 4th generation Polish and German. They come from good middle-class suburban families, and their families are in attendance at this wedding reception. By the way, this is very stereotypical as to who I end up playing for at a lot of the gig logs that you see. That's just the demographic that seems to gravitate towards my services. So, about half of the crowd is 40 plus. That includes the parents, the grandparents, the uncles, the aunts, the older cousins, and so on and so forth. The other half of the crowd, let's say, is 40 and under. A lot of those people are the peers of the bride and groom, meaning they're all kind of in their 20s as well, but there are a few teenagers there and a few little kids. And of course, there are some of those relatives there in their 30s who want to have a good time too. There's about, let's say, 175 of them. When it comes to wedding receptions, it's pretty easy to know what to play for the first song of the night. 99% of the time, it's whatever the bride and groom told you they wanted for their first dance. And here's the song that our bride and groom have picked. It's by Tim McGraw, and it's called My Best Friend. It's a slow country song. Now, our bride and groom aren't necessarily country fans, but they heard this song, and the lyrics really meant something to them. It described their relationship, and so they decided this is what they wanted to hear. Now, where you go next depends on how you put together your wedding activity programs. Some DJs will jump right into the father-daughter dance. Some will do a wedding party dance, or maybe garter bouquet, or maybe they'll jump into a fast track right away. Well, here's my philosophy on this. The wedding reception is kind of a thank you to the audience for attending the wedding ceremony. Your guests, 175 of them, have sat through so much today. They've sat through your ceremony. They had to go occupy themselves in some of the nicest clothes they own while you took pictures. Then maybe they came to cocktails. Then they did dinner, listened to some speeches, and they've just watched 2 people dance on the dance floor. And they've been pretty patient. It's time to get them involved. And what better way to get them involved with a full stomach than with a slow song? This is the song that I've picked, and there's a reason I've picked this song. A couple reasons, actually. This, of course, is Louie Armstrong, What a Wonderful World. And there are a couple things about this song that I like. First of all, the older folks are going to know it. They've been listening to this song for years. It might even mean something to them. The younger people have heard it in movies, and the people in the middle know it as well. But there's something cool about this tune as well. It's 2 minutes and 16 seconds long, and if Grandma and Grandpa have bad backs and bad knees, we don't want to have to bring them out to a first slow dance to a song that's, let's say, I don't know, 3.5, 4 minutes long. There are going to be some spry older folks in this audience too, and we need to give them something. Let's say Aunt Betty and Uncle Jim love to party, they have no physical limitations, and they want to get down. Let's play something that they know, this track right here, which is not my favorite song. I don't like this song personally. Of course, this is Jive Bunny, Swing the Mood. I didn't like it when it came out, I don't like it now. But there are some things about this song that are brilliant. First of all, it's got a contemporary beat, so some of the younger people will jump in and do it. Second of all, it has music that encompasses several generations, from people who were around in the 1940s all the way up to people who liked 1960s music, because there's 50s and 60s stuff in there as well. The only thing I don't like about this track is that it's about 6 minutes and 15 seconds long, which I feel like might be a little bit more to expect from Aunt Betty and Uncle Jim than what they really asked for. We don't want anybody to hurt themselves here, but we want to give them something. So if you're a creative DJ, you might want to cut this track down to 4 minutes or 3:50 or something like that. With Mixmeister or some kind of other editing program, it's probably a good idea. Now, I just played 3 songs. A first song, Louie Armstrong, and Swing the Mood. Now, yeah, you could program that in your iPod and you can let that rip. A monkey could do it. But a monkey and an iPod can't do what I'm going to do next, which is make some serious observations as to what happened with Swing the Mood and kind of go from there. So, we're going to talk about 2 different scenarios that may have happened during this song. Scenario number 1. Swing the Mood went off brilliantly, and it packed the dance floor. Everybody came out, and they were having a good time, they were smiling, they were laughing, and I hit their soft spot. So I'm going to exploit this as much as possible, and I'm going to move on to another familiar, fun party track. Now, I'm going to play the Twist by Chubby Checker, but I want to talk about this track a little bit. There are a couple of different versions of the song, and there's one I like better than others for a reason. Here's the first version that I don't particularly like, but turns up on a lot of DJ collections. This is like an early recording or something. This is the version that I like. It's got a lot more punch. It turned up on my DJ Tools collection. And check it out. See if you can tell the difference. Faster, more punch. Listen to when he kicks in with the vocals. I found that this one I had better success with. For some weird reason, just the attitude of the way the song comes in really helps keep people on the dance floor. It's more exciting, I think. So that's scenario number 1, but let's just change it up a little bit. Before we move on to a completely different scenario, let's say that Swing the Mood went off okay, but I lost some people that are maybe my age. I lost some people that are 30, 40 something. I need to go a slightly different direction. I still want to stay classic for now, and I'll bring out some younger people with this. So I'm going to do Twist and Shout. Now there are a couple different versions of this track right here. Here is the first version by the Isley Brothers. Maybe over in Europe this goes over really well, I don't know. Or maybe with an older group it would go over really well. But we're not using that version of Twist and Shout. We're going to go with the Beatles version of Twist and Shout because the 30-somethings are going to know this track really well because of the movie Ferris Bueller. And you hear it at a lot of parties. Got a little more punch than the Isley Brothers track too. So, scenario number 1. Let's talk about a different scenario. Scenario number 2 is that Swing the Mood was a moderate success. 55 and older went nuts. They came out and they had a good time. We had a few younger people out there, but there are a lot of people sitting out at the tables who still haven't had a chance to have a fast song to dance to yet. So, let's bring them out with something that will work for this group. You can just kind of tell we're going to do a line dance, and a lot of people will criticize DJs for doing line dances. A lot of bride and grooms request you don't play line dances. But the fact is, they work. How many wedding receptions, DJs, have you done where the bride and groom have said no line dances, yet everyone comes up and asks for them? I understand they don't like cheesy stuff, but hey, we're at a wedding reception. We're trying to entertain people from 5 years old to 90, and let's give them what they want. It's only 3.5 minutes of your life. Let's play them a line dance. So we're going to do this one. Marcia Griffiths with Electric Boogie. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows how to dance to it, and if you don't, you can learn just by watching. It's an easy line dance. Now let's just switch it up a little bit, and let's say that the 40-somethings did come out for Swing the Mood, but we lost 30 and below. Well, what are you going to do? Let's give them something a little more up their alley and skip the Electric Boogie and go straight in to this one.
Take it back now, y'all.
The younger people will come out for it, the 20-somethings will come out for it, the 30-somethings will come out for it, and you'll even get some 40s and 50-somethings out for it. As you can imagine, this video could go on forever with several different possible scenarios, but I think you're kind of getting the idea. Let's talk about requests a little bit. Let's just say that sometime throughout the evening, you ended up playing this track right here. This is Mountain Music by Alabama. Okay, I'll admit, this is becoming quite a cheesy wedding, but please understand, this is just a programming tutorial. Let's say that someone comes up to you and requests AC/DC, You Shook Me All Night Long. And you know, just get this gut feeling, this track is going to really go off well. Could you play it right after Mountain Music? Absolutely. But as a DJ, what you want to do is you want to build your sets. So if you know this is going to pop, let's build it a little bit. Let's do a song to bridge Mountain Music and You Shook Me All Night Long. This is when we get into what I'm calling musical algebra. So here, this is just a little example here. X plus Y equals best possible transition into requested song. Now, I don't know if this is the best possible transition into You Shook Me All Night Long, but it's definitely a possibility. If Mountain Music's going over really well, why don't we bridge it with this track right here? Of course, that's Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy by Big and Rich. Why that track? Well, it's country and it's got a rock feel to it, and I thought that maybe it might be a good bridge. It's going to keep the people out there maybe who liked Mountain Music, and then the same people who like that rock and roll feel are definitely going to stay for You Shook Me All Night Long. Maybe we'll keep some country people that we might have lost otherwise. We bridged them. We almost did a Jedi mind trick with them. Now, let's say that they didn't ask for You Shook Me All Night Long. Let's say that they asked for, I don't know, Wild Thing by Tone Loc. What might be a possible bridge? We want to stay on the country tip, but we want to stay on the top 40 tip. I use Shania Twain a lot. This is no exception. We're going to do Man, I Feel Like a Woman. It's not a rock song. It's got a little bit of rock feel to it. It's a little bit of an edge to it. Much like Wild Thing does, really, when you think about it. It's got a sample from Van Halen, I think, Running with the Devil. But at any rate, these are simple equations. What plus what equals best possible transition for your request? Now, maybe they requested Tiesto. If they did, your equation may look a little more like this. X plus Y plus W plus Z plus T plus XY B7 R whatever blah 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 equals Tiesto. It could definitely happen like that, and it does a lot. Depending on where your level of programming is, it's going to depend on how well you're going to be able to pull off this particular equation. And believe me, you're going to learn as you go. You're going to get better at this. It's about knowing people and what makes them tick and what makes them dance. You just want to get the best possible reaction out of everybody. It's not just about knowing your peer group, it's about knowing how your parents react to music and what they enjoy, and how people who are younger than you like music and what they enjoy. Everybody in between, that's what it's all about. Programming. I feel like I'm pretty good at it, and I hope in this tutorial I've kind of given you an idea of what programming is. So I hope this has helped some of you. If you have any questions, as always, please feel free to ask. If you have anything to add, you pros out there, please do. Put it right down here in the comment section. And remember, this video was only examples. I don't know that these were really the best transitions or the best sets. Just examples for you to get you thinking about that black art of programming. Practice and enjoy.